If you want to understand why your belly keeps growing even when you are eating less, do not look at your willpower. Do not blame your age alone. Look inside your grocery cart because 5 specific foods are flooding your liver with fat every single day, quietly poisoning the one organ responsible for keeping your entire body in balance. Hey there, baby. Pull up a seat. Glad you are here. Here is what nobody is telling seniors over 60. The liver can be struggling for years before you feel a single symptom. By the time the fatigue arrives, the belly swells and the sleep falls apart, the damage is already deep. Your doctor is not hiding this from you. But in 11 minutes, they are not going to ask what brand of cooking oil is on your stove or whether you are eating packaged lunch meat 3 times a week. That conversation is simply not in the guidelines. What I am sharing today does not come in a pill bottle. It comes from over 50 years of watching what these foods do to our bodies and from the wisdom passed down through generations long before anyone needed a study to confirm it. My name is Jada Brown. For over 50 years, I have been sharing the wellness knowledge passed down through my family from my mother and her mother before her, who grew up in the Caribbean where the kitchen was the medicine cabinet and the garden was the pharmacy. My grandmother raised 8 children on whole foods she tended herself, and not one of them developed the liver trouble now consuming our community. When I was coming up, we did not have a term for fatty liver disease because we did not have the foods that cause it filling every shelf. My mama used to say the gut is the first garden. If the soil inside is depleted, nothing grows right. And she was talking about the whole body, child. The gut terrain governs immunity, inflammation, blood sugar balance, hormone regulation, and how deeply you sleep at night. What these 5 foods do is burden that terrain one meal at a time, and the liver pays the price first. 5 generations of women in my family watched a clear pattern unfold across the decades. The ones who stayed on real food stayed well and sharp deep into old age. The ones who moved north and took up with packaged bread and bottled oils started seeing the belly weight, the swollen ankles, the afternoon fatigue that would not lift. We did not need a study. The laboratories are only now catching up to what the tradition already knew. Now stay with me because one of these 5 foods is going to surprise you. 9 out of 10 folks over 60 eat this food every single week thinking it is harmless, maybe even healthy. The order I share these matters because each one builds on the last. I am saving the most dangerous one for the end. Watch me to the finish. Before we go further, leave me a comment right now. Tell me your age and which of these 5 foods shows up in your home most often. I read every single comment on this channel and y'all shape every video I make. So talk to me. I am listening. In this video, I'm going to show you the refined grain that quietly turns to liver fat within hours of eating. Then the deli aisle staple that hits the liver in 3 directions at once. After that, the packaged snack our livers were never designed to clear. Then the cooking oil most seniors have trusted for decades that drives liver inflammation with every meal. And finally, number 1, the sweetener hiding in foods that do not even taste sweet and what to eat instead. Before we get into it, can I ask a small favor? If you have not subscribed yet, take 2 seconds and tap that button. It costs nothing, and it means this information keeps reaching seniors who need it. I find out every week that folks have been watching for months without realizing they were never subscribed. If this channel has helped someone you love, that button is how you help it keep reaching people. Let me tell you what is happening inside the liver when these 5 foods show up regularly on your plate. The liver handles everything you eat. Every bite goes through it. When it is working well, it converts food to fuel, filters harmful compounds, and keeps your blood chemistry in balance. But when the liver starts storing fat inside its own cells, a condition now affecting nearly 1 in 3 adults over 60, it begins to slow down on all of those jobs. Many of the folks most affected are eating these foods every day believing they are making reasonable choices. They are not careless. They simply do not know. After 60, the liver loses a significant portion of its regenerative capacity. What a 40-year-old body clears without much trouble, a 70-year-old body is going to struggle with. The margin for error shrinks every year, and these 5 foods take full advantage of that. The old healers in my tradition observed this pattern long before it had a clinical name. They said a body fed on recognizable things knows how to clear itself, and a body fed on manufactured things gets confused. Researchers from the University of Edinburgh confirmed what those healers observed for generations, following over 9,000 adults between 60 and 80 for 14 years. Those who consumed the highest levels of industrial food compounds showed 41% higher rates of compromised liver function compared to those who stayed closer to whole foods. The laboratories arrived late to what we already saw in our own families. If you are currently on blood pressure medication, blood sugar medication, or anything your doctor has said affects your liver, please speak with them before making significant changes to what you eat. What we discussed today can affect how certain medications move through your body. Food number 5, white bread and refined flour products. When I was coming up, bread was made by hand and it appeared at Sunday dinner. It was not a daily staple at every single meal. Today, it is showing up 3 times a day for seniors across this country, and the liver is carrying the consequence. Refined flour has had its fiber stripped away. What remains breaks down into glucose in the bloodstream faster than the body can use as fuel. The liver steps in and converts the overflow into stored fat. Done repeatedly across 3 meals a day, that conversion accumulates inside the liver tissue itself. The liver was built to manage energy, not to serve as a constant overflow tank for rapidly digested, fiber-stripped carbohydrates. Real bread, made from whole grain, takes longer to digest and does not trigger that overflow response. If the first ingredient on the label reads enriched flour or bleached flour, put it back on the shelf. Food number 4, packaged deli meats, processed lunch meats, and hot dogs. These are easy, convenient, and for seniors cooking for one, often the default protein. But they carry sodium nitrates, chemical preservatives, and saturated fats that burden the liver in 3 directions at once. Sodium nitrates are converted inside the body into compounds that strain the liver's detoxification pathways. When the liver manages that clearance day after day, its capacity for everything else diminishes. In a liver already managing the natural slowdown of aging, that shows up as real fatigue. Dorothy was 68 years old, a retired school teacher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. She came to me walking through what she called wet sand every afternoon. She had switched to packaged deli turkey because her cardiologist told her to reduce red meat. What was being overlooked was that the processing, the sodium levels, and the nitrate load were placing their own distinct burden on her liver. We moved her to freshly cooked chicken and canned wild salmon. Within 8 weeks, her afternoon energy had improved by what she estimated was close to 60%. She said, "Miss Jada, I did not know food could take that much from you and never once tell you it was doing it." Food number 3, ultra-processed snack foods, packaged crackers, chips, and shelf-stable baked goods. These products are engineered to be eaten quickly and in quantity. The combination of refined carbohydrates, industrial oils, and chemical additives creates a compound burden for the liver. When industrial oils sit in manufactured products for months, the fat molecules degrade at a level your taste buds cannot detect. The liver receives those degraded fats and mounts an inflammatory response every time, on top of managing the blood sugar spikes from the refined starch. Walnuts, raw pumpkin seeds, a piece of fruit with a small amount of nut butter. These are what the liver recognizes as fuel, not work. Food number 2, canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and blended vegetable oils. This one surprises folks. These oils have been marketed for decades as the heart-healthy alternative to butter and lard. Many of our people switched in the 70s and 80s, believing they were making a healthier choice, and the liver has been managing the consequences ever since. These oils are extracted through industrial processes that expose the fats to high heat and chemical solvents before they reach the bottle. By the time that oil arrives in your kitchen, the fatty acids inside have already begun to oxidize. When oxidized fats enter the liver, they trigger an inflammatory response. In a liver managing the changes of aging, that chronic low-level inflammation accumulates over years and contributes to the kind of cell damage that becomes liver disease. My grandmother fried in coconut oil and cooked with a small amount of lard from pastured animals. She trusted what came from a recognizable source, and she lived to 89 with sharp eyes and a flat belly. Swap industrial oils for extra virgin olive oil in dressings and low-heat cooking, and coconut oil or avocado oil when you need higher heat. Before we get to number one, I want to talk about what to put back in and why replacement foods alone are not the whole answer. After 60, the population of beneficial bacteria in the gut drops significantly. Adults over 65 have lost on average 40% of the microbial diversity they carried at 30. Many folks take a daily probiotic and still feel bloated and sluggish. The reason is that probiotics cannot thrive without prebiotic fiber to feed them, and neither probiotics nor prebiotics produce the real healing compounds without all three working together. Postbiotics are what the bacteria actually manufacture, the compounds that calm inflammation, support the gut lining, and signal the immune system to settle. Think of the gut like a garden. You cannot drop seeds into depleted soil and expect a harvest. The soil, the water, and all three elements have to work in concert, or the garden does not produce. When you remove these inflammatory foods, give the body something to rebuild with. Bitter greens like dandelion leaf and arugula support the liver's bile production and cleansing rhythm. Beetroot, which the women in my tradition kept on the table year-round for generations, supports bile flow and keeps liver channels moving. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts carry compounds that support the liver's phase 2 detoxification process. I want to pause here for a moment because the question I hear most consistently from folks on this channel is what I am actually using to support gut terrain while making these food changes. The answer is BoochBod. It is a kombucha gummy that brings together all three elements in one daily dose: prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, along with two clinically studied strains called Lactospore and Postbiotics LM1004. It also contains dandelion root and slippery elm, two roots that healers in Caribbean and African American tradition have used for liver and gut support long before anyone bottled them. Over 30,000 people are using it. It is a gummy, not a pill, which matters for my folks over 60 who are not looking for another capsule. The link is in the description below. And as always, speak to your doctor before starting any supplement, particularly if you are managing liver, kidney, or cardiovascular conditions. And now we arrive at the most dangerous food on this list. The one doing the deepest harm to the most people and the one most folks never suspect. High fructose corn syrup and concentrated added fructose. Here is what makes fructose completely unlike every other sugar in your diet. Glucose, the sugar from whole grains or vegetables, gets processed throughout the entire body. Every cell can use it. Fructose can only be metabolized in one place, the liver. All of it. Every single gram you consume lands directly in the liver and must be handled there. When the liver receives more fructose than it can convert to energy, it converts the remainder to fat and stores it in its own tissue. This is called de novo lipogenesis, the liver building new fat directly from sugar. At 35, a healthy liver manages moderate fructose without too much difficulty. At 65 or 70, with reduced metabolic capacity and years of accumulated dietary burden, that ability has declined substantially. The same serving of sweetened yogurt or flavored instant oatmeal that your body managed at 40 is landing very differently now. And here is what surprises most people, child. High fructose corn syrup is not only in sweet things. It is in salad dressings, packaged bread, ketchup, granola bars marketed as healthy, and canned soups. The liver receives a fructose load from sources the body never expected, and the damage accumulates quietly across months and years. Researchers at the University of California, San Francisco followed over 4,000 adults between the ages of 55 and 78 for 11 years and found that those with the highest daily fructose intake, regardless of total calorie consumption, showed liver fat accumulation at a rate 2.5 times higher than those with the lowest intake. 2.5 times. The old healers in my tradition needed no clinical trial to confirm this. They had already watched 3 generations shift away from whole food toward manufactured sweeteners, and they watched the belly weight and the fatigue follow. Gloria was 72 years old, a former seamstress from Savannah, Georgia. She came to me fully convinced her diet was clean. No soda, no candy, no fast food. But every morning she had flavored instant oatmeal, lightly sweetened yogurt from a carton, and orange juice from a bottle. What was being overlooked was the cumulative fructose arriving in her liver 3 times before noon every single day. We shifted her to plain rolled oats with fresh blueberries, plain full-fat yogurt with a drizzle of raw honey and warm lemon water. Within 12 weeks, the bloating that had been sitting under her ribs for years had reduced significantly, and her morning energy improved enough that she started walking before breakfast again for the first time in 2 years. She told me, Miss Jada, I thought this was just getting old. I did not know I was the one feeding it. To clear fructose from your diet, read every ingredient label before that item comes home. Look for HFCS, corn syrup solids, fructose, and crystalline fructose. Whole fruit is a different matter entirely. The fiber in whole fruit slows fructose absorption dramatically and changes how the liver receives it. Stay with 2 to 3 servings of whole fruit daily, favor berries and citrus, and replace sweetened beverages with water, bitter herbal tea, or a small glass of fresh vegetable juice. After over 50 years of watching what actually moves the needle for liver health in the community, here is what I have seen work consistently. Tip number 1, time your bitters. Dandelion root tea or bitter greens taken 15 to 20 minutes before your 2 largest meals primes the liver's bile production before the food arrives. Many folks take their bitter herbs at random times and wonder why the effect feels inconsistent. The timing is part of what makes them work. Tip number 2, consistency carries more weight than intensity. A 3-day cleanse followed by processed food all week does nothing. The liver is a slow healer that responds to steady daily choices over months. Small, consistent changes compound in a way that heroic cleanses never do. Tip number 3, a tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar diluted in a cup of warm water before your morning meal supports the liver's natural detoxification rhythm. My mama used to mix this with a pinch of cayenne and a squeeze of fresh lemon. The tradition observed this benefit long before the laboratory confirmed the mechanism. Mistake number 1, replacing processed food with the diet version. Fat-free salad dressing almost always substitutes fat with high fructose corn syrup and artificial thickeners. You have removed one burden and replaced it with the most dangerous one on this list. Read the ingredient label on the replacement before you declare a win. Mistake number 2, stopping too soon. The liver does not give quick feedback when it is healing. Folks make these changes for 2 weeks, feel about the same, and conclude the approach is not working. The liver regenerates on a timeline measured in months. Stay the course for at least 90 days. Mistake number 3, cleaning up the diet without addressing the gut. You can remove every food on this list and still struggle if the gut terrain is too depleted to support the liver's recovery. The gut and liver are in constant communication. When the microbiome is depleted, it sends chronic inflammatory signals to the liver that persist even after the diet improves. Address both together. My people, before you go, I need you to hear this. What we talked about today is about your independence. Your mornings in the garden, the Sunday phone calls with your grandchildren, the ability to cook your own meals and show up fully for the people who count on you. That is what is sitting in the balance of every plate you put together. It is never too late. I have watched women and men in their late 70s restore real energy and mental clarity by making exactly these changes. The liver wants to heal. The body remembers what it was built for. Stop adding to the burden and start giving it something to work with. You are the keeper of this life. Make the choices that protect it. Let me lock this in before you go. Food number 5, white bread and refined flour products. They convert to glucose faster than the liver can use as fuel, and what it cannot manage, it stores as fat. Food number 4, packaged deli meats and processed lunch meat. The nitrates, sodium, and chemical preservatives push the liver's detoxification pathways past their daily capacity. Food number 3, ultra-processed snack foods and packaged crackers. The oxidized industrial fats and chemical additives create a compound inflammatory burden the liver was never designed to handle. Food number 2, canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and blended vegetable oils. Already oxidized before they reach your pan, they drive chronic low-grade liver inflammation with every single meal. Food number 1, high fructose corn syrup and concentrated added fructose. Every gram lands directly in the liver, and what it cannot convert to energy becomes liver fat. Remove it from every label, not just the sweet ones. If this video helped you today, baby, I need 2 things from you right now. Hit subscribe. I come here every week with the old knowledge that does not get discussed in rushed appointments, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. And share this with someone you love, your sister, your oldest friend, someone who has been struggling with belly weight or low energy and does not know where to start. Leave me a comment and tell me which of these 5 foods you are starting with. I read every single comment on this channel, and your answer shapes what I cover next. For those who asked about the BoochBod I mentioned, the link is waiting for you in the description below whenever you are ready to take a look. Take good care of yourself and take good care of each other. I will see you in the next one.